I must say I was enjoying the music, so I just can't believe it's over already. But it is. Wow. Greetings, everyone. How are you? Welcome to another episode of Article Reaction. Next to the last one of the year, 2020. Oh, yeah, it's fastly approaching for 2021. Let me let you know what happened today on my Saturday. I headed out to the mall and it was very quiet. Really wasn't really surprised about that. But on the way, there was a lot of stores that were closed, just gone out of business. And I'm not just talking food. And there is no surprise about that. But to actually see it, you know in your mind with what has gone on this year that everyone is taking a hit. Everyone is suffering some type of way. So I think if when on the way to the mall, what hit me I was going to a water tower. So the first thing hit me was Panera Bread. Now I've been telling you guys about how Panera Bread has been pushing 3 months free of coffee. And I think that was in September. And the coffee was free September through I think November. Then they did something else in November for a little bit. And I just got an email, I think a couple of days ago. They're doing another 3 months. So the location that I went to on the way to the water tower, it was gone, closed down. And I'm like, this is one that is kind of close. So what's going on? Just gone. And I will say when I used to go there to get my free coffee, because I went September and a little bit in October. What happened in October, the quality changed. And I'm like, it's no sense me coming here, wasting my time because either the coffee isn't ready or the quality just sucked. I'm like, even if it's free, I don't want to waste my time. I can make some at home. So I just said, forget it. So November, I just let it expire. But the fact that the location is gone, is closed, out of business. I'm like, wow. So part of Michigan Avenue, on your way to the Magnificent Mile, it's looking kind of scarce there. I saw the Gap store; it was closing, and I do know the Gap, the company in itself was having some issues, but that was kind of interesting just to see it, and that's what I'm saying. To see it, it's another thing. The baseball cap place called Lids, that's another one, which I get it. Who's really buying baseball caps this season, and some other stores. So I just happen to, be the strange person I am. It's cool. I live pretty well for myself. I don't argue with myself. We get along just fine. And I have my birthday listed as 1/1. So I like to get all my little gifts because I signed up with a lot of people to get my goodies. And so I went to go redeem my free coffee at Pete's coffee shop. But on my way, I'm like, I don't think I want to get this coffee right now because it seems like I may have to go to the washroom, and I don't want to. So I went on in just to see if they had a open restroom, and they did not. So I turned right back around and said, "Okay, I'll come back." So I went on to the mall, and I'm telling you, it's weird. It is extremely strange for December to look this way. I know you guys heard about the popcorn, the famous popcorn Garrett's. That was closed. I, it ain't looking good. What's that? Victoria's Secrets is always busy, and they're not even giving out the monthly penny anymore. gone. I mean, no, it was gone. I'm sorry. It was no one in there, just empty. I'm like, wow. And I just wanted to start the show just mentioning that to you. I don't know if you've been out to see that, but as consumers, we pay when a business is not doing well. We pay. So get ready, everyone, for 2021 because they're going to find ways for us to pay. It is what it is. I noticed that just in general when what was that 9/11, a lot of things went up. We end up paying as consumers, just everyday people, and we had nothing to do with what had happened, but we paid. We paid the airlines. So when you did go somewhere, oh, you paid, and a lot of other things too, gas prices, all kind of stuff. But enough of that already. Let's see who I have here because we're gonna get into some of these articles. Let's see. I think I see her. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I think I see not only the lovely, but the beautiful and the classy. Classic Ruby, everybody.
Surprise, y'all! It's me. I know you weren't expecting me. I know you're all pleasantly surprised to see me. Hey, where do I go? What? What?
Beautiful, just
Listen,
beautiful.
right? I'm not that bad, okay? I'm not
There
one of
you
those
are. I
people.
see you. You see me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You hear me? Hello? Hello?
I can
Hey,
hear you
anybody?
now. Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, perfect, perfect. Because I was gonna say,
I hear
I'm
you.
not one of those
Okay.
people who will just keep talking to myself. Like, you gotta hear me. You gotta see me. How you doing?
I hear you special. I get that. You're like, hey, you better listen to me. I hear
Mhm.
you.
You know it. You know it. Uh, you on that consumer note. So I was never a Victoria's Secret shopper, but we have a similar company here called Licenza. And Licenza, if you had to buy each
Hmm.
individual thing, it's pretty expensive. Especially if you're like me, you can't shop from like the bargain boxes for bras because like I'm always proportionally a double or a triple D. I need underwire, I need real
Uh-huh.
support. That don't come in bargain boxes. So those bras are always $40 or $60 individually, but they'll have deals that will be two for 60, right? Or their underwear, each individual one is like $15, but then they'll have sales at 5 for 25. So I used to load up on that. In fact, my first real job, I'm telling you, I didn't do laundry for like 3 months once because I kept going back to the store and getting the 5 for 25. So I always had clean panties. So it
Right.
was um, and so I went into the store recently, like right, yeah, like okay, 2 months ago I went into the store and nothing's on sale. Not one thing, not the 5 for 25s, not the two or three, whatever. And every individual thing's marked up. So one thong is $20, one bra is $60. And I was like, do you guys actually expect to sell anything? Like, I understand that y'all are hurting because of the pandemic, but you expect to sell something at this rate?
Hmm.
Guys. And she's like, well, that's what ends up happening, right? We get less material coming in, we're getting less bras and underwear. So supply and demand, y'all want it, but we don't have unlimited sources of it, so y'all are gonna pay. And it was empty, it was so
Yeah.
empty in there, it was sad. Mm.
Yeah. I haven't been out for a while. I want to say in a mall type area, maybe July or August. Mm, that's it. Maybe I think it was July. That was it. So it was just surprising to me. And before, everything was boarded because of the liberating people was doing. But now the boards are off, but there's nothing going on. But I will say,
Right.
when I went to the washroom in Nordstrom's, they were popping up in there. It wasn't as many people as it normally would be, but they had employees everywhere, security everywhere. They were standing right there.
Mm,
So that's the only place I've seen a lot of people, or the most
yeah.
amount of people today.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Nordstroms.
no,
Yeah.
that that makes sense because I guess people are now getting desperate too, right? They're used to being able to have a certain quality of life, and they can't afford to buy their little nicks and knacks and expensive things to feel special during the holidays or buy their wife stuff and whatever. So I would guess, if anything, yeah, they're probably at higher risk of some a little bit of theft over there at a Nordstrom's. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, since I'm talking about I guess shopping,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go ahead and get started first, and then I'll go into the shopping. I'm gonna start
Oh,
my article with shopping. So you go ahead.
ooh. Okay, okay. Well, I'm going to start my article in a very strange place today. So let's have some fun today, y'all. So I don't know if you guys remember. Oh, oops! I clicked share audio and I forgot to click the actual article. I'm like, why isn't share working? What's the issue? Oh, didn't tell you I want to share this. Okay, so y'all,
All
I
right.
don't know if y'all do you guys remember this meme? Remember this meme, Shar, with this zombie Angelina meme?
I may have. I just looked at it and just glanced over it, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, right. So there's
At the
all
new look
kinds of
now.
right. Yeah, no. There was an idea that there was a woman, and this is the Iranian woman in the middle here, who is actually this woman that she had actually gotten all kinds of plastic surgery to try to look like Angelina, but she failed, and so this was her traumatic end result. That's what people thought. Not what actually happened. That's what people thought, though, and that was the rumor that went around for a long time. But this was just all special effects and Photoshop. Like she still looks like this beautiful young lady in the middle. She's not actually
Oh,
right.
okay. Whew.
Right. Okay. Right. So then
Okay.
you're like, okay, well then what could we possibly be talking about? Well, y'all, and I want to tell you, after you hear this, I want to stop hearing all of y'all talking about how censored you are over here in the Western world. Because this young lady, for this meme right here, I'm not even kidding, not kidding. This young lady was sentenced to 10 years in jail for that meme. 10 years.
Uh,
Yes, for a photo. All right, so let's watch the little news clip we got going on
oh,
here, and then we'll get up in it.
The Instagram star who went viral for her rendition of zombie Angelina Jolie has been sentenced to 10 years in prison by authorities in her home country of Iran last week. According to reports, Zahar Tabar, whose real name is Fatima Queshevan, was sentenced for corruption of young people and disrespecting the Islamic Republic. Tabar went viral in 2017 with photos originally thought to have been the result of extreme plastic surgery. She later explained she achieved the zombie Angelina Jolie effect through makeup and photo editing. Iranian journalist Masih Alinejad tweeted that, quote, her joke landed her in jail, end quote. Tabar's Instagram page was deleted in 2019. Iran has banned several major social media networks in the country, like Facebook and Twitter. Alexia Kapralos, Global News.
Right.
ooh-wee.
Right? So this is for real. This woman, she's 19
Wow.
years old. Her mother is crying. They have pleaded to Angelina Jolie to basically say, please help her, right? So the tweet, you know what? Let me show you all
Uh-huh.
the tweet because I should have kept that up there. I forgot the tweet was in there. Let me show you all the tweet here. So the tweet, cancel. Oh, X, right? Because I've used the internet before, I swear. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's take a look at the tweet over here because they did the mother and an activist. They've been actually pleading over Twitter because she's only 19 years old currently. 10 years jail for Iranian Instagrammer who used makeup and Photoshop to become a zombie Angelina Jolie. Sahar Tabar is only 19. Her joke landed her in jail. Her mother cries every day to get her innocent daughter freed. Dear Angelina Jolie, we need your voice here. Please help us. Now, of course, Angelina Jolie has done
Mhm.
absolutely nothing to help because, like, I'm sure it's not even on her radar. Um, and Tabar, I mean, this has been ongoing for a while because Tabar was actually confessed to these crimes in
Mhm.
last October, and she pleaded for release in this spring when she contracted COVID. Nobody cared still. And so that means she was actually convicted when she was 18 years old. Now she became a target. I mean, this was a serious thing. She ended up having to almost hide from the Iranian state because in North America, this is crazy, and we love this kind of stuff, right? But they have very
Uh-huh.
very strict laws about how you can present yourself, period, in public, and that includes on the internet as well. And so what ended up happening is they said this was against their public decency law. She's basically severely, and it's not clearly it's not sexual or sexuality issues. So just the fact
Mhm.
that she looks like a zombie is enough to offend their religious and social ideas of what's proper and what's not. And so she was actually initially in hiding between 2017 and 2018 when they ended up finding her. And yeah, 10 years, y'all. 10 years for this because she made
Wow.
a couple memes. Yep, crazy.
Wow. I don't even know what to say with that one. Wow. That
Right? Like,
that is crazy. How are you offended the country? Um, I don't know what to say. That's just so crazy. That is,
right?
and then Angeline, she likes um other country for kids, so why wouldn't she reach out to her? She love
You would
adopting
think.
everybody that's not on US soil. Well, I'm
Maybe
just
Angelina was
saying.
offended,
That's what I
right?
noticed.
Like maybe it's a thing where Angelina
Mm,
was offended by the meme because I mean people have been coming for Angelina calling her anorexic and too thin most of her career. So maybe she was offended by the meme, didn't think it was funny. So
okay.
it, she's like, good. I'm glad you're getting slapped down for making a meme. I'm not saying that's what Angelina did. I'm just saying maybe,
Yeah. Hmm. That's that's wild.
right?
That is totally wild. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Hmm. All right. Well, this story I start off with talking about shopping, and I'll continue with
Mhm.
shopping.
All right.
And Target shopper tries to shame worker. $31,000 later, it backfires in a big way. And the $31,000 was a GoFundMe that people had raised for the Target worker. And kind of like the jokes on the Target shopper. Well, let me tell you about this idiot. Yeah, Mr. Levitt. I don't care if you are award winning, that's what you say. David Levitt may be award winning journalist, as his Twitter bio proudly claims, but he's also an absolute nightmare of a customer. If his recent run in with a Target employee is any indication, last week Levitt was shopping at a Target in what is that, Swansea, Massachusetts, when he came across an electric toothbrush. That's the thing now, that looked as if it was on sale for a penny. When he tried to buy it, Tori Perotti, I guess, was who was handling the register, didn't go for it. After all, the real sale price was $89.99. So what did Levitt do? He took her picture and posted it on Twitter, along with the facts of the matter as he saw them, in an apparent attempt to shame her and the retailer. There's old David, award winning. So he's going to take a picture of the woman. Mm, Tori just, well, okay, whatever. And I blew up the picture as much as I could. Now, clearly, it says 0.01 and the word display. So I'm trying to figure out, how is he going to say that this box costs 1 penny? Because that's what he's insinuating. Now, if you want the display for a penny, okay, maybe you can argue that since it said display, 1 penny, but not the box that's on the shelf. Hello? No. And the small print, because I actually went to the store. This story happened early this year. I actually went to the store and actually looked. So yeah.
Oh.
Um, it says something about the unit, and I forgot what it said. I meant to take, well, I probably did take a picture, but I lost it because of my phone. That's another story. But anyway, clearly it says 0.01 in the word display. So he needs to quit it. Now, I am one for coupons and sales. Trust me, I would be there saying, hey, look, this was in the wrong place. I understand. But all of it, the whole area is ticketed incorrectly.
Yep.
I pointed that out to you, and you have to sell this to me. So I would fight that way. But if it's just one item that's just off to the side in the wrong place, then no, it's nothing I can do with that. But this
Right.
Levitt guy, he just went too far. He said, I'm going to take a picture of the employee and say, ha ha, look at her, and put her on blast. Really means nothing. So what does Mr. Levitt do? He ended up calling the police now. Not the police was called. He called the police. And the police said, look here, idiot. If you want something done, just sue the store. You could do that. But no, he didn't want to do that, of course.
No.
So anyway, let me tell you, he continued. He tagged everybody in his post, took a picture of the business card of the manager to try to put him on blast. But it meant nothing. Only thing it meant was they like, there's an idiot out there. So guess what? We're going to start a GoFundMe for Perotti so she can go get her a nice vacation. That's what she needs. She needs a vacation. She got to deal with crazy customers. So we're going to donate. And enough people donated $31,000. So they donated probably her salary to her. That's a nice vacation. But she's sweet. She said, you know what? I don't need all that. I'm going to give something to charity. You guys gave me something. I'm going to do that. And that's fine. So her story ended up going viral, and that's nice. But, he couldn't say nothing. But he's going to get smart and say, I'm giving away vacation. Who's next? Which just means that he's going to continue with his stupidity.
Yep.
That was it. And that was all.
Wow. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, no, here's the thing. I don't care. You can't blame the store or anybody else for your own personal stupidity or for other customers' laziness and not putting things back properly, right? Like, you've got to check. There's like normally there's the product description and the barcode. And if that stuff doesn't check out, if it doesn't match, then there's no deal for you. I'm sorry that you don't have that level of intelligence. I'm sorry you were so excited you jumped the gun. But dude, like, do you have such an ego issue that you can't go, oh damn, my bad, and just move on in life? Like, really? I,
Mhm.
I'm lost for words. I don't
Yeah.
even know what to say about this guy. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's an
Okay,
awful shopper. I just wouldn't want him as a customer.
right? And the thing is, he's one of those people. He's entitled, right? Entitled people think that if they yell and scream and make enough threats and follow through on them and whatever enough, that eventually they're going to get what they want anyway, just because people want to shut them up and make
Yes.
them go away, right? And I bet you this has worked before, and
Mhm.
that's why he's doing it, because he's grown. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, he has a history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Ah,
he has a history. Yeah,
oh, yeah, he does. No one's married to that man. That's for sure.
terrible.
100%.
No, not at all. They don't like him.
Mm-mm.
They
I don't like
don't
him
like
either.
him.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh, all right then. So,
Whew.
on the shopping tip, let's take a look
Oh,
and
okay.
see. Right there. Now, this is a case of either someone's lying, someone for sure is lying, and it's either theft or lack of accountability that we're talking about. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Hold on. Let's get
Hmm.
our little
Okay.
tab going over here. All right, share. All right. So
All
now,
right.
Canadian heiress and former personal assistant in court over $15 million luxury spending spree. Okay, so
Wow.
now, depending on who you ask, either the assistant stole money from Phoebe Greenberg, this is the heiress, okay, or well, let's take a look at the assistant real quick so that way you got in your mind what these people look like. This is Sandra Testa,
Mm-hmm.
the former assistant who is being accused of stealing $15 million from her former boss. Now, I'm just saying, I'm looking at Sandra. She does not look like she owns anything, period, in her life that is over maybe $100. I'm just saying, like, look at the sweater. It's bunching in all the
Mm-hmm.
wrong places. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if you
Yeah.
manage to steal $15 million in luxury things, you're probably living a high life. That's where I started with this. But let's go through the story. Okay. Um, so now this question
Okay.
is playing out in a Montreal courtroom where Phoebe Greenberg, let's go back and look at Phoebe real quick. Phoebe Greenberg, um, the co-owner of the Minto Group, the major Canadian real estate company, is adamant that she suffered a huge financial loss as the result of the behavior of her personal assistant, Sandra Testa. Remember, we saw her. We'll go back in a minute, is alleged to have used Greenberg's money
Mm-hmm.
to pay for private jet travel involving friends and family, vacations to Europe, jewelry, and other luxury goods. I mean, so far, this seems like, okay, well, yeah, we'll just, throw the book at her and that's it. But Sandra has a defense. And Sandra, let's go back down to Sandra now. Sandra says
Okay.
that actually she used all of these things, she spent all of these things because Greenberg approved the spending, and that the Minto Harris spent lavishly and had no real idea of her own expenses. All right. So basically, what Sandra is saying, right, is that this woman is an
Mm-hmm.
irresponsible, flighty person who has no accountability or responsibility when it comes to her finances. So as a result, basically, she spent all kinds of money she didn't have, didn't keep track of it. And now that she's in some type of financial hot water, she's looking for someone to blame so she can try to get the money back because she screwed herself over. That's basically what Sandra's saying. Okay. Now, as part of her job, Tessa had control over Greenberg's personal expenses and those related to the Phi Center, an arts and cultural organization that Greenberg founded in 2012. Greenberg alleged that Tessa used her position to take advantage of her trust and generous nature and gradually take $15 million from her. Okay, hold on. Now, let's pretend for a second that Sandra is guilty. This woman, Greenberg, must be the most irresponsible, flighty person on earth that someone could gradually take $15 million from your personal account and you legitimately don't notice. How do you not notice $15 million disappearing, right? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, so they said, this is the problem. So apparently this is one of those women, right? She's a very well-known philanthropist. And when the faucet is turned on, it didn't flow drip by drip. It's a tsunami. So now Greenberg's money paid for unauthorized trips to Europe and New York for Tessa and her friends, it was alleged. So you're trying to tell me, okay, your assistant, the person who helps you 24/7, flew somewhere else with her friends and family on your dime, was not there to help you. So that means, she had to take the time off and you were unaware, entirely unaware. Okay. Tessa, right, is also alleged to have made one purchase of $38,000 in jewelry from luxury goods store Van Cleef and Arpels and had it delivered to her home. The purchase was made on an American Express card in Greenberg's name. The same credit card was used to purchase the $3,797 in plane tickets to Venice. According to the lawsuit, one of the many people who accompanied Tessa on the trip was Calogero Ferrugia. I'm not that great. Calogero, Ferrugia, 53, a man who was charged in 2017 at the Montreal courthouse with being in possession of 2 stolen Riopelle paintings. The charge was dropped last year. Okay, right? So now that starts to go to support Greenberg's assertions. Well, hey, this chick is hooked up with an infamous thief who likes to steal big. So maybe he encouraged her to, hey, don't worry, baby, you won't get caught. I mean, that's not a good check in her favor, Sandra. Okay, we're looking at you. In her lawsuit, Greenberg stated that the NCS Concierge Services, Inc., a company owned by Ferrugia, was paid more than $420,000, including $158,000 from her personal account through payments which were never authorized by me, she says. Again, how do $420,000 of payments come out of your personal account and you just didn't notice? Like, how irresponsible again are you with your money? It seems to suggest at the very least that Tessa's right. This woman's incredibly flippant and irresponsible with her money, doesn't keep track of it at all. She just spends, doesn't care about her statement at the end of the month, doesn't care what she spent or didn't. She's not keeping track of it, which would then make her an easy target for someone who wants to steal from her, obviously. So, I mean, right. The thing is, a lot of these expenses that she's talking about, she spends like this anyway. So she'll spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on jewelry or lavish trips or whatever the case is. So it's very difficult in that case for her. How did she even separate which payments were when she authorized and which ones she didn't? And I find because she's not keeping track. Right. and then basically what the lawyers are saying is that she does not know what it costs, neither for her entourage nor for her own personal expenses. So she's spending money. She doesn't know how much is going out of her account. She's making promises to people. She's rewarding them with gifts. And she probably does do this very flippantly, not, like not caring because it doesn't matter to her. You know what? You did such a good job on this account. I'm going to send you to Venice. Right? I can see someone of this level of money and kind of airheadedness doing that and not keeping track of it later. Right? So, I mean, now keep in mind, right, that this woman here, Testa, she was working up to 91 hours in a week. 91 hours a week on average.
What? Wow.
Right.
Oh.
Thank you. And that at that point then tells you, well, when did she have time? When did she have time outside of
to fly?
Right. Unless you gave it to her, unless you personally gave it to her. You said, I'm giving you this time off because I'm going to go on my little tryst with my beau. So I'm going to give you time off. I'm going to send you here. Or you know what? You've been working so hard here. I'm going to buy you some expensive jewelry. Pick what you want out of the catalog. Because 91 hours a week, that's crazy, right? So,
right.
And then basically,
when did the woman even sleep?
Exactly. And she said, Testa said that they had a nice relationship and they were always together. 91 hours didn't necessarily feel terrible, but overall, I mean, Testa says she has no money coming in. She has no real money banked. She didn't make that much money as an assistant. She currently lives in her parents' basement. She no longer even has a car, and everyone is talking to her about this trial and accusing her of being a thief, so she's basically unemployable. But if she stole $15 million, she wouldn't need to live in poverty in her parents' basement. I mean, again, it seems like these were gifts, especially like the trips and stuff like that, that were given to her at some point throughout the course of her working. But, if she were stealing for her to benefit, I feel like she would be living in better condition. At least her hair wouldn't look all frizzy and fried at the bottom and whatnot. So, I mean, even at one point, there was a $79,000 watch that needed to be delivered by a Brinks truck. I mean, what, you missed that? You thought that your assistant received a watch that was delivered by a Brinks truck to work. And you just thought she had enough money to be able to afford something of that value. That doesn't seem realistic. It seems like you knew. So,
no.
Trips to Geneva, trips to Italy. I mean, I really think that there might be an issue here when we look at the discretionary funds of $200,000 and a bunch of other stuff. I think what happened is this. I think that Greenberg got into some hot water financially. She was not paying attention to money, and she took money from her foundations and stuff like that to pay for stuff, wasn't keeping track. And when they came at her to basically, get her on some type of fraud or whatever, she went, I never did that. I didn't spend that money. Oh no, it must have been my assistant. That's what I think happened.
Right. That's where the missing money is. Yep.
Exactly.
Blame it on somebody.
Exactly. So I'm going to say it's still ongoing. Currently closing arguments are going to be heard next Friday. And, if there's going to be a type of settlement or something, we'll hear. So, we'll keep updated on this. But yeah, I'm sorry. I got to say, I think Greensburg is full of it, and she's trying to get herself out of hot water. The end.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too. Almost positive, because why you don't have any money with what she spent?
Right.
That's a great question. If just what she spent make you broke, then no, something ain't right. Stop playing, lady.
Exactly. Exactly. And to be clear, this woman hasn't been her assistant for a little while. So this came out of almost nowhere for this woman. Like, she left this job. So clearly there were either, maybe it was the time demands, maybe it was something else, about character, like I as a good person, I just can't in good conscience keep working with you or something. I don't know, but she was actually already not employed with this woman for other reasons, when this suddenly came out of the blue to smack her in the face. So yeah, no.
Right.
So
Mm.
yay.
Not fooling me. Not fooling me at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, y'all
Well,
might y'all might care about the heiress, but no. No.
no. Go ahead somewhere.
Mhm.
And speaking of fooling, I'll go into. Well, I guess I'm sticking with money. It's not shopping, but it's money. Let's see which one I want to pull up first, because I got two things. Let's see. Let's go into the. Yeah, I know which one I'm gonna do, because I did mention how things are, the way it's gonna get us.
Mhm.
Um, where's my share screen? Okay, there we go. All right, so the PPP loans,
Mm.
and we all know that the PPP loans was, something that came out where businesses were going to be able to borrow at 0% interest and repay it back, in a nice length of time. They gave them 3 years. Some companies, they gave 5 years.
Right.
And that helped a lot of people. Now, remember, I had my hairdresser on the show
Mhm.
once,
Mhm.
and she had applied for it herself. So it really helped, you know,
Mhm.
it really helped everybody. So that's, that's fair. Key word, though, in this is small businesses. You
Mm.
know, even though a lot of places did, lose business, they had to close, because even like my hairdresser, she had two shops. She had to close and only keep one.
Aw.
It's just really tough,
Aw.
so, but we do have people, large businesses and people, not caring and getting
Hmm.
money, and yeah,
Hmm.
like mega churches,
Hmm.
you know, let the Lord in your heart, let
Wow.
me in your wallet, and
Wow.
it's, you know, now I don't know if he signed a check, if he, signed his name, or he had an assistant to apply for the PPP loan, but yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Wow.
everything is tax exempt for you. So I just don't believe a loan was necessary. But
Nope.
I can hear him. I literally can hear him. Let the
Mhm.
Lord guide you. We got to keep the church doors open. If you feel it in your heart, just please donate. We need to
Mm.
keep the storage full.
Right.
I can
Right.
hear him now.
Yep.
I can hear him. And you can get a little ghetto with it, and you how we would do it. Yeah, get your cash out. We take credit cards. We take Snap, EBT. You just hand your PIN number over to the person on your right, and we'll take care of that. You don't even have to leave your seat. Yes, yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Can't you feel it? Let God move you. Give me those PIN numbers. Yes. Amen. Yes. And that's probably how we would do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
he he again, I don't know if he signed the check him, the application himself, or maybe he had a assistant. I don't know. But I'll read it and find out. He probably had an assistant. I don't know, but let me see. Let's find out. All right. Joel Osteen criticized after his Houston megachurch receives $4.4 million for the PPP loan. Oh, yes. Pastor Joel Osteen and his Lakewood Church in Houston are taking heat after it was revealed his megachurch received a $4.4 million Paycheck Protection Program loan as part of the Federal CARES Act. If you care, please donate to the church. Open up your heart. Tell them God sent you. Okay. The federal loans were given to help employees pay workers and cover daily operations as the COVID-19 pandemic continues impacting businesses. But the Lakewood loan, according to the Houston Chronicle, is the first time a church received financial aid from the government. The Hill reports Lakewood Church receives the third biggest loan in the Houston area, which a church spokesperson told the Houston Business Journal was used to pay 368 full and part-time employees. The spokesperson, Donald, also said since services were closed from March 15th until October 18th, the church lost out on substantial donations. Lost. See, this is what makes me angry when it comes down. Now, with businesses, I notice how they do it. I still don't like it. They consider profit not received as a loss. I don't like that, but that's what they do. That's how they do it. This church is saying because we didn't get a substantial amount of donation, it's a loss. I say, why is it a loss? If the darn doors are closed and you using Zoom to log on, I don't know how much it costs for Zoom, but you don't need no $4.4 million. Now, as far as the employees, well, if they employees, why can't they get unemployment? Why not? Just saying. But no, you want to apply for the loan and it was given to you. What's really going on? Let me find a picture of him. Got that big old $4.4 million grin on his face. But according to the article, he didn't know anything about it. And this is even a pastor had put this on Twitter. He's a pastor, this particular guy, and he's saying that churches should be taxed. He even thinks so.
Mm.
But look at that big grin. Look at that big grin. But us poor folks in the hood, pass the plate, cash out, EBT, ABC, 123. If you feel it in your heart to help the building fund, let the Lord move you. Pass your pen down, write it down on this envelope, pass it to them in the row, and get your praise on. Yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cash out. EBT.
You know what the worst part about Joel Osteen is? He's the guy who he's got the mega churches and people funneling money to him, and then when those members, the members within his church that are funneling all their money to him, have a problem, he does not funnel money back to support them. A. B. During what was it? I think it was the hurricane. He wouldn't even allow the people who needed shelter during the hurricane to use his church, like, God's house that's
But you
supposed
know
to.
why? But you know
Wow.
why? He felt in his heart, the Lord didn't move me. So I
Mm,
didn't open up the doors to the church during that hurricane. I have to be moved and get a word from the Lord.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not acting according to God's will, if you're not sitting there and at least helping your own members, let alone, I don't know, your country, during a horrible time of crisis, when random humans who are not pastors and not part of God's cabinet or whatever are sitting there and flying down to help, but you can't just give people shelter in your damn foyer, you disgusting human trash, then you don't deserve at all, first of all, to have a tax exempt status. But what you definitely don't need is a bailout. A bailout
Hmm.
for what? A bailout for what? What do you pay for? What is your overhead cost? Will you pay rent, keep the lights on, whatever? So you need the billions of dollars you make a year to make that happen, because y'all don't pay nobody except for him, right? So like, what are you paying? Like, I don't get it. No,
Well,
they get a
see,
bailout though. Mm,
oh yeah, fuel for a nice jet at least starts at 15,000 at least. So he needs to fill the tank. He couldn't fill the house of the Lord during that time, but he needs to still fill the tank so he can fly here and there. Oh yeah.
disgusting, disgusting. And like you said, the worst part about this is that it's only big businesses and these mega churches and whatever that are getting bailouts, any form of help whatsoever, despite the fact that the majority, the other 99% that are being impacted by this, they're following the rules and regulations. This is about public health. These are not personal choices that they are
Hmm.
making. And they were not in a financially cushioned place like all of these big businesses and all of these mega churches and whatnot, right? But the country sees fit to help these people who don't need help, who won't go out of business without the support from the government. But they don't help the small businesses that really keep the country running, that really keep the country moving. What do you want most of your population to be homeless and what? I guess at least they have a mega church to attend on Sundays from their tent. Like, I don't get it. Like, this is crazy. That's
Yeah,
atrocious.
it, it is. It's hard to worship when you're hungry. It's very hard, very
Right.
hard. And
Very
they're
hard.
doing Zoom meetings and things to continue to reach out to people, still asking them to donate. Because I did see something during the summer about that they were contacting members to still send their tithes and offering. That wouldn't stop them. So
Oh yeah.
something is still given because some people are like that. They think, oh, well, I got to give Pastor his money. I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to him. But it is a lot to maybe keep the lights down on low and the heat and air conditioner down low, whatever. But you're not trying to heat or cool off people because they're not in there,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
don't need no 4.4. Trust me, that had to be the limit because I'm pretty sure they would have went for more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That even just the amount, when you think about it, right? That massive amount of money, you couldn't have divided that. But fine, let's say no, right? Okay, well, you're a man of God, right? And you're supposed to be there. Why aren't you funneling any of that money and support back to these people who've been funding your lavish lifestyle for decades? Oh, no one's gonna ask that question though. Let's just keep preaching prosperity gospel because that's working out for everyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. I swear this world is just getting worse by the day.
It
Ah,
is.
right? Speaking of worse, have I got a story for y'all?
Uh-oh.
I love foolishness.
Uh-oh.
Y'all know I like foolishness news. Come on. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm petty. Okay. So let us, and first we're gonna, so Jimmy Kimmel did a little story. He did a little segment, you know, when he does those things and he does a little stand-up talking about a story. So we're gonna listen to his coverage of the story before we get up into the details. I don't want to say too much. I want to ruin it. I want to surprise you with the details if you didn't hear about this before. So here we go, and let's make sure you can't read nothing. All right, let's get right into it.
There's a man in Indiana, there's a 40-year-old man who is suing his parents for $87,000. Why? For throwing out his porno collection. Apparently, the guy moved back in with his mom and dad after getting. Why his wife divorced him, I don't know. He sounds great. But he moved back home, and then when he moved out a few months later, he left behind some boxes, and his parents had destroyed 12 boxes of magazines and videos and 2 boxes of sex toys he left with them. The man, they identified him as Charlie. It is not his real name, but he estimates his collection was worth $29,000. How he arrived at that figure, I do not know, but he's suing for triple damages. He's suing his parents. He even called the police on his parents. This is an email from one of the officers who worked the case. He wrote, Charlie sent me around 44 emails that will be sent to forensics to be added to this report. Emails contain lists of DVDs and VHS tapes, different sex toys, and lubes that he states are missing. How did this not happen in Florida? I mean,
right?
I hope the redactions in the Mueller report are as much fun as this one is. But so his parents, this is how his parents responded. They wrote, we counted 12 moving boxes full of pornography plus 2 boxes of sex toys, as you call them. We began that day the process of destroying them, and it took quite a while to do so. I wonder how they
Quite a while.
them.
Quite a
14
while.
boxes. They could just throw them in the garbage. They had to have a bonfire too. And more importantly, does Charlie know there's a huge collection of porn called the internet right now? That I hope this isn't the Charlie from Charlie Bit My Finger. Oh, that would be shocking. It really would.
So now here's the thing, right? Okay, so this man, he's 42 years old, 42, right? And he's got a porn,
Okay.
sex toys and the porn worth almost $30,000. Who owns $30,000 of porn and sex paraphernalia? Like, that's a lot of money to invest in porn.
Well, he started a long time ago.
He's not that old. He's only 42. Like,
Well, he started in his 20s.
Clearly, and boy, did he ever invest in that. Even though, as Kimmel points out, there's the internet and porn is free. Like, basically, almost all porn is free now. Like, I don't even get how you continue to invest. Okay, but he won. He's going to get $75,000 from Beth and Paul Working, his parents. He did win the summary judgment of this case. It blew my mind that this went to a court room, right? And they had to like treat this like it was any other types of items that were destroyed, right? Like they couldn't be like, "Are you kidding, bro? This is porn," right? They couldn't do that. They had to be like, "Well, you know, it had a value to it, and you know, it was destroyed. They admit they did it. Okay, so we do think that this is warranted, given the wanton. I've never known how to say it. Wanton destruction of the property." He also said that this was a collection of often irreplaceable items in property. What in the world was this guy into that his toys and porn was so irreplaceable? Like, irreplaceable? Like, you can't get it? Like, what kind of rare, crazy stuff did he have? Um, but as I said, not in Florida, it's in Michigan. Right? And this happened right after David got divorced in 2016. He went and lived with his parents. A few months later, he got his place in Muncie, Indiana. And that's when he realized he was missing the 12 boxes of porn films and magazines. Now, you have to think about these parents are slick, right? They don't say a word to him. They don't bat an eye. They see it. They go, what the heck? They went through every one of his boxes till they found all of the porn. And then they just low-key, slickly carted it away. And it just disappeared and just kept looking him in the eye every day like nothing happened. They did not mention it. Right? This was like, you have to think about how slick they are. They're okay. And he's 42. He's a grown man. Like, it's not like he's like, 17 or something, or even like 20, where you kind of still feel like, well, this is my child. I have to protect my child. Like, he's a grown man. He was married and everything. Now, the parents, the father, basically said, frankly, David, I did you a big favor by getting rid of all this stuff. That you would buy and watch films depicting such violence is beyond the pale. Working's father wrote, I have no words to express the depth of my shock and disappointment. Believe it or not, one reason for why I destroyed your porn was for your own mental health and emotional health. I would have done the same if I had found a kilo of crack cocaine. So apparently, porn is the same thing as crack cocaine to his parents. Okay. Now, David did deny that any of his porn was illegal, and a search done by the sheriff's department found no evidence otherwise. And then I love the way this article ends. But with a collection like this, is it really any wonder this guy is divorced? Good luck, David. Good luck. And you gotta think about that. Like this
Wow.
this porn, not only did he have $30,000 of porn and toys, but this was so monumentally like foundational to him that when the porn and toys went away, it's not like he's just been, kind of like, well, I had this stuff over time and it went away and I'm irritated. I'm mad they did it, but like I won't miss most of it. No, he missed all of it so much that he literally brought his parents, his very God-fearing, old school traditionalist parents, to court to fight them over porn that he now doesn't have. So he could get $75,000 so he could buy back his porn. Because that's what he intends to do, by the way. He thought he should get the money back for the porn loss plus the emotional damage and whatever, right? And the court said, yeah, I think this is very emotionally damaging. And God, can't separate a man from his porn. And then he has the money and he's going to try to buy back as much of his porn and toys as he can get. That's his focus. Not like, now I have $75,000, I'll put a down payment on a home or, do something more productive with it. Maybe go on a vacation. Nope. He wants to buy his porn back. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This just in, breaking news, everyone. Breaking news, and then we'll do the next article.
We had a lot of fun. My friendship bracelet. Hey, thank you so much. You're the president of the United States. Let's go.
I will tell you.
I'm gonna have to check the source on that, but I heard that was breaking news, and I just wanted to share. Thank you.
No, that did not happen.
All right.
Please.
I have to check that source. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Well.
Did that really happen? No, is that for real? Did that really happen?
No, I'm about to check that. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I have to
Okay.
check that. I don't think that's true. No. Yeah. I think we're safe. I think everything's fine to January. I think we're fine. I'll check it later, but I think we're fine. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
it.
Okay, okay.
All right. So when we when we talking about grown, folk, you know, some people, these grown men, when they're at home with their parents, they got to move in or whatever because divorce or whatever the case is, and just never leave. And I think that was the case for this dude. He just never left because he's 29 years old. And well,
Wow.
he liked video games, and you guys check out Regime Gaming. Um, they do pretty well over there. They talk and game. Check
Mhm.
them out. It's kind of cool. They got some guy over there that had um, I don't know, had
Girl,
his nipple. I don't know. Just go check it out. That's all I can say. Just check out the channel, okay? Regime Gaming. But anyway,
shot. He was
um,
attacked with the axe. He was stabbed in the face. This man, and then he had to be forcibly removed from that situation because he just loved it so much. You gotta go listen. You gotta go listen. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my whole life, and this man is saying it's his real life.
and he got a 9-year engagement too. But
Yeah,
anyway,
right. At
about this
19 years
dude.
old.
Yeah. This dude, he likes video games, and he didn't appreciate being told that he needed to turn it off because the parents need to go to bed. Now, just to let you know, these parents of his mother, 66 years old. So she has Medicare, okay? Um, so more than likely she's on that fixed income, and I don't know if she got a pension. I kind of doubt it, and I'll tell you why. She got her man, her husband. She remarried this stepfather, and the stepfather was 71 years old. So they need that beauty sleep. They tired,
Mhm.
and they ain't got a small place. So for whatever reason, he was in their room playing the game. So police said the 29-year-old Michigan man stabs his mother and stepfather after the couple asked him to turn off his video game. Now, they didn't tell him to turn it off in his room. They asked him to turn off in their room. So that sounds like one TV, a one-bedroom apartment for her and her husband. And I'll continue. Christopher McKinney faces several charges related to the December 11th incident in Madison Heights. Now, I'm going to take out the word alleged because, for some reason, when it comes to the dominant society, the word allegedly is always thrown in there. So I'm going to remove it. And let's see how it sound in. Let's see, where was I? Okay, so he's facing several charges related to the December 11th incident in Madison Heights, including assault with intent to murder and resisting arrest. Prosecutors could upgrade those charges as the stepfather died from his injuries 4 days after the attack. Authorities said McKinney's 66-year-old mother and 71-year-old stepfather asked him to stop playing video games in their room so they can go to sleep. In response, McKinney uh, oh, McKinney punched his mother in the face, kablowie, breaking her nose. Then hit the father multiple times, kapowie. The stepfather grabbed a knife from the kitchen, trying to defend himself, as well as his wife. However, McKinney gained control of the knife and used it to stab the couple. A neighbor found McKinney covered in blood in the hallway and contacted the police. Now, if we're going to say hallway and a neighbor, We're saying not only are they in an apartment, they're in an apartment building, a small apartment. They're in an apartment building. Might be a small apartment building, but the fact is they're in an apartment. These retired people with this 29-year-old man. Now, when it comes down to healthcare, you got to get off your parents' insurance policy at 26. So President Obama at the time, he did lengthen the time that, your kids can be on your plan. That was nice. That was wonderful. Because they used to cut them off at 21. So isn't that nice? But this dude is 29
Wow.
in a one-bedroom apartment with the parents. These parents are retired.
Wow.
So anyway, this fool is in the hallway. I guess he's tired from all that killing. And the neighbor found him covered in the blood in the hallway. And he contacted the police. He was laying down in the hallway. And he had blood all over him. Madison Heights Police Chief Corny Hines told the station. There was blood everywhere, all over the walls, the ceilings, and the hallway. While trying to arrest him, police told he said McKinney resisted arrest and spat at the officers. So why he's still mad? You didn't kill the parents. Won't you go and keep going and go play your video games now? Why not? But anyway, he even assaulted the fire lieutenant who was administering first aid. So he's trying to help the dude in his cuts because stepfather gave him some work. Unfortunately, the man is deceased now. And he's being held in Oakland County Jail on a $510,000 bond. So mama is not going to be there to bail him out, hopefully, because she's still alive. So hopefully she won't bail him out.
Wow.
Because I don't know if she just coddle this dude or what, but hopefully she's going to just get rid of him.
Right. Like, that's not safe. Like, if someone tries to kill you once, they're probably okay with trying to kill you again. I'm just saying. Like, no.
Right.
Just no. Just no. So it's like, what is wrong with humanity? Like, why is this happening? Did they put something in the water or in the air? Are they pumping stuff in the air? That's why they want us all to stay home, stop breathing it in, because otherwise this is okay to you? Like, you murdered or tried to murder your own mother, murdered your stepfather over a video game.
Yeah.
Like,
and he didn't even go back to play it. See, I know this is strange, but just go there with me. If you're mad about something because someone won't do something for you or won't allow you to do it, once you pop them upside the head or whatever tactic you take, why don't you go back to doing or go ahead and do what it is you want? But no, they don't do that. They run away or they do something different. And I always wondered about that. You just like this dude, he wanted to play video games. Well, he done killed the dad, injured the mom, so why don't you go on back to play the video games now? Now they can't bother you. You got the room all to yourself. Ha ha ha.
Right. Exactly.
Sick,
So
very sick.
right? Like, was it actually about the video game or was it about something else? Clearly, it must have been about something else, because if the video game, like you said, was so important, wouldn't that be the very next thing? Finally, now that you're shutting up, I'm going back to my game. Right? I mean, as twisted as that sounds, that should have been your priority.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You
like,
think.
Wow. I mean, at the end of the day, because you've heard about this before, right? There was that kid who's 17 years old 17-year-old, Daniel Petrick, killed his mother and attempted to kill his father because they wouldn't let him have or play the game, like the Halo 3 game or whatever it is, very violent shooting game. I wonder why. And his response to that was to tell them to close their eyes because he's got a big surprise for them, and then shoot them both in the head, right? All over Halo 3. But that was like a 17-year-old, not a 29-year-old. So what are your priorities at 29? Like I can't imagine being that angry or upset at someone taking away one of my hobbies that I'm going to murder my family, throw away the whole rest of my life over this. Like, this is it. It's incredible. And you know what? It reminded me actually of a story. We didn't cover it a few months ago, but it reminded me of a story. If I could sneak it in really quick. It involves. It definitely involves the murder, and it involves a video game. Totally different way though. It's quite a strange story, but again, that's why I'm like, is there something in the air, or like what is going on here exactly? That these people are just so callously able to murder their families over almost nothing, if you think about it. And so I'm going to
almost nothing.
Almost nothing. Now this guy literally killed his whole when I say whole family, this story is just terrifying. And so this is the guy right here. I have no idea what that picture is. Maybe that's like his gaming picture, or I don't know exactly. But now his name is Minhaz Zaman. Okay. And this is in Canada, in Markham, Ontario. And this was in September of 2020. So immediately after slaughtering his family in the summer of 2019, Naz Zaman confessed his grisly crimes to his fellow gamers. Now he's admitted that he's a mass murderer to the rest of us as well. So this was Thursday, the 24th of 2020. Zaman, who's 24 years old now, pleaded guilty to one count of second-degree murder for the slayings of his mother, Momotaz Begum, 50, and to 3 counts of first-degree murder for the killings of his grandmother, Feroza Begum, 70, sister Melissa Zaman, 21, and father Maniru Zaman, 59. Now he ends up being sentenced to 40 years in total before he's eligible for parole. Technically, it's a life sentence, but in Canada, life doesn't mean life. So if you get a life sentence, you killed one person, it's 25 years, and then you're eligible for parole at that point. Because it's a mass murder, they can kind of determine what they think that base number should be. In this case, it was 40 years. Now, I want you to realize that this guy literally sat down after he slaughtered his whole family and typed, "I just slaughtered my entire family and will most likely spend my life in jail if I manage to survive." This was in his video game server in Discord. Then he went, "Do you want pics?" He then sent his fellow gamers gruesome photos of 4 bodies sprawled on the floor of his Markham home as if he were proud of the evil he had just committed. According to the agreed statement of facts, one friend would describe seeing a bloody knife beside an elderly woman lying on her back, blood everywhere. "Why massacre your entire family?" his friends demanded. Well, Zaman told them it had been in the works for 3 years, not months, years. He'd been failing mechanical engineering and decided to secretly quit. He'd also left his Muslim faith, become an atheist, and hatched his horrific plan. For 3 years, he hung out at the mall and went to the gym, all while pretending he was actually attending his classes. But his charade was coming to an end. He had told his parents that his university graduation was set for July 28th. "I couldn't have delayed it any longer," he said. So Zaman began his murder spree the day before. I killed mom and granny so far, he wrote late on the night of July 27, 2019, waiting for sister in 5 minutes and then dad in 1 hour. According to the agreed statement, Zaman killed his mom at about 3 p.m. that day and his grandmother an hour later. He spent the night napping and playing video games until his sister came home from work at 11 p.m. He then murdered his dad when he returned about an hour later. In the meantime, players were desperately trying to reach authorities to warn them about what Zaman was doing. They called the local police departments. They sent pictures and the info that they had. But of course, because Discord is private, you don't have people's actual information of where they're located, their addresses, their real names, anything. So as much as literally everyone on the server was contacting their own local authorities and telling them what was going on, sending the pictures, there was absolutely nothing anyone could do. And so in horror, from about 4 p.m. until midnight, these people were sitting there trying to convince this guy not to keep going, trying to contact their authorities to stop him another way, all while knowing that he was sitting there playing video games calmly and napping, waiting for his sister and his father to return home so he could murder them all. I mean, the funny thing is, they finally managed, because of the it's a police report and the grisly pictures and whatever. They actually managed to trace the IP address to a home in Markham, and York Regional Police conducted a welfare check around 3 p.m. on July 28th. It was too late. When Zaman answered the door of his family's Castlemore Avenue home, he was the only one left alive. Inside, officers discovered the bodies of his 4 victims upstairs. I want to point out something. Castlemore is a very, very rich area. It's like, for you to live in Castlemore, you have to be a multimillionaire. You have to be very, very wealthy. It's an incredibly rich area. The houses are so far apart from one another, and they are massive, sprawling mansions with massive backyards, to the point where there's one house in Castlemore that has, like you invite people to a club. It's like that. They have a party once a year and thousands of people show up, and there's enough space for them on this property. That's how huge these properties are, right? So these are very, very rich, wealthy, well-to-do people. And he did this because he did not want his parents, these rich, wealthy, well-to-do people, and his family to have to feel ashamed of having a son like him. And he chose to kill them instead of himself out of cowardice. So, I mean, these people are literally, right? It's a terrifying thought that in this day and age, not just in America, right? People like to blame us for everything. Neither one of these people that we just covered, or the kid I spoke about before, are part of the Black community. They're a part of other communities. And slaughtering your family is a good option. Like ever. Like, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a terrible mindset. What a mindset.
Right.
Wow. Well, I have one article left that I'm going to share, and it has to do with the mindset. And yeah,
Okay.
and here we go. Jerry Falwell Jr. says his wife had an affair with the Florida pool boy, claims they were being blackmailed. Now, let me tell you something. This dude, this pool boy, is employed. So he's getting a salary to work. Then he get him a little nookie with the wife. So you think that you're gonna try to blackmail the man, the husband, because what, she cut you off, or you want more money? Your salary and the coochie wasn't enough. You wanted some more, so you thought it was a good idea. I'm gonna tell your husband. But what the wife does is say, nope, I'm going to tell him first.
Mm.
So she told him. And then he says, I forgive you as the Lord has forgiven you. And we're going to work this thing out.
Oh.
I know I can't give it to you good like I used to. We're getting older and you still want your back banged out. So we're going to work this thing out and we're not going to get this pool boy nothing. So the pool boy shows back up. Got my money? You got my money? No. And I told my husband. So there. I don't believe you. I'm going to tell him. Well, you don't have to tell him because he's right here. Honey, come to the phone. Yes, so my wife been banging you. I understand that. So we have no money here. So you cannot try to extort anything out of us. Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell everybody. Oh, well, I don't want that to happen. Let's see if we can find some money for you. Now, the story would have went a little bit different if it was me.
Mm.
If it was me, I would have told the boy, look here, you getting some nookie and you're getting a salary. So I tell you what, I'm gonna fire you and you're getting no more nookie. You got a lot of nerve. And then he's gonna say, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna tell your husband. And I would say, oh, I stand on my disrespect. Tell him if you want to. You ain't getting no more nookie and you get no more salary. So how about that? And then he'll probably go and tell on me. And that's fine because I would have fessed up like, it ain't like it used to be. So look up, me and the pool boy, hey, it was what it was, bang, 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 bang. So I'm sorry, so what you want to do? Okay, honey, I forgive you. Okay. And I know you've been doing something too. So I forgive you too. You got a little lipstick on your collar right there, but I'll wash it out. Don't worry about it. And then pool boy shows up. Got my money? I done told you, fool, I ain't got nothing for you, man. And then he's gonna insist, well, I'm gonna tell. And I'm like, go tell. You still ain't gonna get no money. So now what? Tell all you want. You still ain't gonna get no money. You gets nothing. Fool. You done lost your nookie, you done lost your salary. And guess what? I'm gonna tell everybody that all you're gonna do is try to extort them. And now you ain't gonna get no job around here with us rich pastor people. So now you got to go somewhere else and go find your job. You get no reference, you get no work around here, and we pay good because we getting them dollars coming in from the church. So you get nothing now. So you lose. So take you and your Peter Weeder and you go somewhere else with that. And I hope you wet your lizard somewhere else because you can't wet it here.
Tragic.
And that's the end of the story. Thank you.
See, and that's how see, like Alcina, right? Years after, when he already didn't need the connections, he already did his thing. Now, whatever. Now he's going to talk about his entanglement. You don't do it then. When you need the income, you need the come ups, you need the connection. Are you stupid? You're reliant on these people right now for your welfare, and you are an idiot because you jumped the gun. You should have got some video, and text messages. You save all of that for later. And then once you get your come up from the pool boy job, you get a connection with something better. You get a few years away from needing them. And then you go, hey, so I hear you're up for an election about blah, blah, blah. Well, have I got some pictures I can release? Then you get your money.
There you go.
Right? Like, listen, I'm not trying to teach people how to do Asian. This better. But I'm just saying that if you're going to do it, you said stand on your disrespect, but do it in a smart way. What's wrong with you? Like, come on. Like, you had to know you were going to fail on this one because what was like these people only pay out when they have something immediately to lose. So unless he's up for some type of election, some type of on the board thing, you know what I mean? Like, they're not paying you for what?
Yeah.
Like, well, at least he lost.
You
You
got
played,
paid already.
right? I'm saying, stupid games, stupid prizes. Good job. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Was that the last article for you? I think you
It was.
said it was. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be sure.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. So thank you, everyone. Christmas is next week. I will stream Saturday. Enjoy your Friday. And I'll keep you updated and post it. And one day I'm gonna get that community tab because that's my goal. I'm not
Yes.
all in the super chat and all of that because they're gonna take everything away from it. And how is that gonna help pay for the StreamYard? If you donate $30 and I get what is it? They take 30% out, is it? I forgot how much
Yeah,
people
I
said.
think
But
it's about
whatever it
that.
is, that wouldn't help. Yeah, it's too much, whatever it is. So that means nothing to me. I want that community tab. That's all I'm saying. And thank you so much for tuning in, supporting us. I appreciate it. Got one more article reaction before the end of the year. And yeah, I thank you so much. Love you all. And check out Keep the Beat on Wednesday. We'll have a show. Come and work with us in the chat room. We have so much fun. I'm telling you. Don Teasy be clowning up in there. You just don't know. And I got a little sound bite for you, Don Teasy, because you're so beautiful. Yeah,
Why?
you're just so beautiful, Don Teasy.
Why? God. Hurts my soul. It's the worst song
But see,
ever.
you all don't know. You all don't know the inside jokes because you got to be there. So I'll play the commercial on the way out. And until next week, peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice channel on Mixcloud and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded.